Hey RV family, Crazy Keon here from Hanging with the Hazes, and if you have a 2020 to 2025 Wrangler or Gladiator, JL edition or whatever the Gladiator letter combination is, you need to listen to this podcast. Here's the deal, y'all are at risk of electrical fire. Now, I'm gonna give it to you straight so that it's not a scare tactic like everybody else on YouTube is trying to do. I'm gonna tell you what you need to do with your Wrangler, what you need to do until you get it checked out and verify that your VIN number is not a part of the recall, and how to handle a situation should it erupt. Listen here for the truth, right here on Hanging with the Hazes. Granted, I am speaking to those who are Class A, Class C, owners who tow Wranglers like this behind their vehicles, but I'm pretty much talking to any Wrangler owner. So let me give you the skinny and tell you what's going on. So Stellantis, the company that bought Chrysler after the million times that they were bought, put out a bulletin for 2021 to 2025 Jeep Wranglers and Gladiators that have the electronic steering module doohickey. Okay, so we don't have a hydraulic power steering pump. It's electric. Now that plug that goes in there, which you're going to see right here, this is what is overheating and it's causing fires. Now, here's the deal. I am specifically talking to my RV folks because if this were to happen, the catastrophic issues that follow behind it because of it affect us the most. So let me tell you what's happening with this as far as it relates to us. RVs are usually that close when towing their Jeep Wranglers. And if you notice at the beginning of this, I included the 2020s simply because there were some of those 2020s, especially in the later year of 2020, that could potentially have this same issue. They say 2021, Crazy Keon does not believe that. I do believe it extends back into 2020. Now, like me, if you have an 18 or a 19, those were quasi-safe from this fire issue. And what's happening is, even with the vehicle off, that plug is still receiving power from the battery back here. And because it's still receiving power in 12 volts, there is amp draw. Amp draw creates heat. Heat creates fire potential. And so that is why these have to be so careful when it comes to being towed behind an RV, because if this joker catches fire while you're going down the road, you could have just ruined not only your vacation, but your home in some cases like us where we full time. So should there ever be an issue, let me tell you how to deal with it, what to do to prevent a major catastrophe if this thing decides that it wants to catch fire. So until this whole recall thing is worked out, the first thing I want you guys to start doing when you get to your campsite is parking away from your rig or park away from whatever you're staying in. So if you're in a tent, you want to be, definitely careful. But even in cabins, you want to be careful. So if you notice, I'm about 20 feet or so away from the cabin. And this 20 feet or so away is pretty typical in most campgrounds. So if this were to go up in flames, A, you're going to be able to see it. B, it's far enough away from your stuff so that you can at least get your belongings, and do not keep critical documents in your Jeep. So I know we got hiding places and things like that. Right now, until you get that straightened out, you don't want to do that. Passports, driver's licenses, credit cards. If you own a Jeep, you also have an emergency credit card because you never know when she's going to show her aspirin. Nevertheless, don't keep any of that in the Jeep right now. You want to take that inside with you, at least until, again, you get your VIN number checked to see if there is an issue. Now, let's flip a little bit. Let's talk about what to do if there's an issue. So let's say, for instance, Jeep decides to go ablaze. If there's an issue, do what I'm doing. Get away from it, okay? That's all you can do. There are components under there that are under like capacitor and things like that that could potentially pop. Is there risk of exploding per se? Probably not. Like, that's a myth. There has to be a lot of pressure to create an explosion, but you do want to get away from the vehicle. And I'm going to suggest, 100 feet or so, you should be okay. Don't try to put it out. It's not worth it. That is what you have insurance for. Call the fire department, let them know, hey, I have a Jeep Wrangler. It was under the recall, it's on fire, and they're gonna come and they're gonna put it out the best way that they can. The next call that you make is to your insurance company and say, hey, write me a check, because it's gone. Because chances are if it does catch fire, it's totaled. That's okay. Third call you make is to the local Jeep dealership and tell them, get you another one ready, because that's really all you can do. So get away from it. Don't try to move it away from your camping apparatus or something like that. You know why? Because you should already be, had you listened to Crazy Keon, far enough away where you don't have to try to move it or be, anything like that. And then we've already talked about, you don't keep what in there? Your important documents. Let's wrap this thing up. All right, quick recap. So we already talked about, don't try to put it out. Keep it away from your, wherever you're staying in. If you're towing, frequently check your vehicle. A lot of us have cameras that can see behind. You want to keep an eye on it. Lastly, just because the recall is from 2021 to 2025 doesn't mean that they missed anything. You always keep an eye on your tow vehicle, no matter what it is, so that you know that it's safe. If you spot any issue, problem, concern, immediately pull over, put your hazards on, and investigate. That is the best recourse you have for that. If you have any issues, problems, or anything like that that you want to investigate, please check the link at the bottom. It's to the National Traffic Safety Board. They have a bulletin out about this. Read up on it, do your homework, and I'm also going to put the Jeep website down there so that you can reach out to them if you have any issues, questions, problems, or concerns. Drop a comment, like, subscribe, and drop a comment, especially if you know somebody that had a Jeep issue, and I definitely want to know if they had one while they were towing. We need to talk about that to make sure that somebody else doesn't fall under that same type of issue. Thank you so much, family. I love you so much. This is the reason why I'm sharing this information with you, and you have been hanging with the hazers.